What's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to the Distinguished DeGents podcast. We are back and live on our YouTube channel for UFC 300. This is part one of part two of our handicaps and predictions. Joining me as always is my co-host. It is Jason, Money Mansman.
Good to be back, man. It's been a minute.
It's been a while since we did a live stream or a video to collab together. We've been doing our separate bits, but welcome back, Spaceman, Sam Celentano, to the 300 handicap. We could not have done this without you, brother.
Oh, man, I wouldn't have missed it for a world. It's the big one.
So let me start with Money Mansman here. When we talked about in UFC 298, the disappointment that was UFC 300 and how it was just a major letdown from what it was supposed to be. Do you still echo those sentiments, or has the card grown on you whatsoever?
Look, I'm looking forward to watching and enjoying it, with some adult beverages. I really look. The prelims are going to be great. The main card, there are 3 fights I'm interested in, and then
I'm going to say that it's definitely growing on me. The prelims are definitely for me personally, the prelims on its own could probably be a pay-per-view.
This could be one of those fight cards where I don't even remember the main card. It could happen.
Yep. Spaceman, what are your sentiments towards this UFC 300 card? What do you feel about the fights that Uncle Dana has lined up for us here as a treat?
It's definitely grown on me over time. I'm really looking forward to Pereira and Jamal Hill. I think that's going to be an absolute banger. Prelims are looking pretty spicy, and the early prelims look like they could be exciting as well. I don't think it's going to live up to the hype. I think it's going to be a good card. I think the only way it lives up to the hype is if it's all finishes, which is a possibility for a card like this. It could be all finishes. And that would be something that doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's really spectacular. But, in terms of other major events and how they've really shown out, companies do it big. I just watched WrestleMania last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was electric. Every single match was electric. It was filled with suspense. You were waiting. You didn't know who was going to win. You had an idea, but it was just high flying, all action the whole time. Great entertainment, even from the opening of the national anthem. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Very, very well composed, really well done. You can really tell that they care about WrestleMania. Has always been a big time promotion, especially for WWE, who was really more I was explaining to Phoenix, my partner. I was telling them it's like acting, but all the actors do all their own stunts. So they take it really serious.
And also they have to do improv. They have to stick stick to a code. There's a lot more to it than people think, which is
it's really intense. And they do really good, and they're on the road 350 days a year basically. So if we're taking into account other major promotions and what they're doing with their events and how they've been promoting them, I think UFC 300 is definitely falling short in that category. But we'll see how the fight card plays out. I'm still excited for it, and this could. I really feel like if this card flops in any way, Dana's credibility is just gonna. It's compromised. It's
and especially with the Saudi Arabia situation going on right now, with getting that card up, and he's already on the fritz, so this is his big comeback. I guess to bounce back off of the WrestleMania comments, Sam's 100% right, and even if you're not into wrestling, if you want to say it's soap opera for men who are insecure, feel free. That's 100% legitimate. But as a wrestling fan, when I was a kid, not having followed it, but then watching it WrestleMania weekend, it was 100% entertaining. It kept me glued to the TV. I didn't want to change it. the storytelling has not been that good in a very long time, and I just think that's what was appreciated. And I think in terms of UFC 100, that's kind of like what's missing here. It just seems like that we're getting a lot of good technical matchups. These are people we definitely want to see fight each other for the most part, but there's no real like story or rivalry. Kind of like with the Sean O'Malley Cheeto Vera 2. Was that the most electrifying card in the world? Absolutely not. But why did we tune in to watch it? We wanted to see Cheeto 2 and Sean O'Malley. We wanted to see was Cheeto's first win a flop, which it turned out it probably was. But other pay-per-view cards too, like DC versus like John Jones. Did we tune in for that whole card, or did we tune in to see those two fucking go at it?
Yeah,
we always tuned in to see those two go at it because there was a rivalry. And that aspect just seems to be completely missing in every single fight here on this card. And I just think that's the potential for this to be a letdown, which is no matter how good the fights are, if they all do end up going to decision, or if it just ends up being not a finish every other fight, that's going to be what kills it. Because it doesn't matter how the finish is if you're not even interested in the fight to begin with.
I think the other thing is the storyline. It's not like the storyline doesn't exist. Like the storyline's there. Like Jamal Hill defeats Glover Teixeira, who's the trainer for Alex Pereira. And so Pereira has this opportunity to avenge his trainer and his dear friend's loss. But he didn't play that angle at all. Like at all. It's been missing. And I think that was definitely the way to go to promote the fight, to build it up for people to be excited. I think I'll get to the picks and everything. We'll do that tomorrow. But I just think this has the potential to be like an all-time great UFC fight because you have two devastating strikers who are about to, take it to the ring. And added fact, Alex Pereira just broke Francis Ngannou's long-standing punch power record. Did you guys see that?
Ooh.
It was 191,000 units.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. And you know what? Watching that video with I forgot her last name, but it's Nina who does the UFC interviews. There was a video of her.
Danielle?
Yeah, Nina Danielle. So she was she was holding the pad while he was punching and kicking, and she literally like flopped over after one of the punches, and it was just like, okay, you're being dramatic, but like when you put it into perspective, like it makes sense.
The guy hits harder than Francis Ngannou, and he's like 100 pounds. He's like, I don't know, 50 pounds lighter than him.
Yeah.
Guy fights in middleweight and light heavyweight. Guy's a freaking human tank.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the main event, someone's going night-night dipshit. Like 100%.
It's sleepy time. Someone's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Amen. But we're here for part one, folks. We are here to discuss the early prelims and the prelims card for UFC 300. It starts 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, probably 3 p.m. Western Time, whatever. But before we get started, I got the card ticking on the bottom.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I guess, like, what are we most excited for here? If there really is no story to 300, is it going to be, like Sam said, the potential where people could just go night-night dipshit and choked out? Or is there something else you're looking forward to that we haven't brought up? Mansman, I'll let you go first.
Oh, boy. I'm hoping that, like, the fighters recognize the moment and sort of go for it. I think sometimes you watch these fights and you could tell there's certain fights where they're literally like afraid to lose, looking for a win. And I want this to be, it doesn't need to be all finishes, but I want to see action. I want to see people going out to like get it, to really try and sort of work for a finish, be active. I think sometimes, especially, and we know the people, the Ian Garys of the world, he comes to mind, where it just feels like sometimes fights, it's just like they go and they just fight well enough to win, like a 29-28 decision. Like, no offense, this is UFC 300. This is supposed to be, one of the biggest cards of all time. I better see the fighters do that. And just one point about like the UFC flopping. My big concern. I didn't watch this last card. I didn't really have like the time. I was out at a work event watching college basketball, having nice drinks. But the event before, the refereeing was
oh my god
awful.
Are you talking about 298?
The last fight night, I think it was the Blanchfield, where the midget gnome kept stopping every fight like early. I mean, I'm terrified that we're gonna get some bad refereeing and it's gonna fuck up the whole thing.
Chris Weidman with the double eye poke.
Oh my god, the double fucking oh my god.
You know what? You know what? Here's my hope. Can we not get another Andre Lima situation with a fucking biter? Like, can we just get like
fight someone in the UFC? Like, who do you think you are, Mike Tyson?
Our new favorite fighter, Andre Lima. I mean, we love the guy.
That guy's a DeGent, man. Andre Lima. That's our G right
That's our boy.
Yeah,
that is our boy.
We love Andre Lima over here.
Yo, but like, can we not get a fight that ends in like with somebody getting bit or like some bullshit reffing? Even the judging too has been like really bad lately, and that Atlantic City card was a prime example. There's a couple fights that I can't really think of, but it's always been like two judges, 29-28, the third judge, 30-27, the other guy that clearly lost.
Sal 30-27 D'Amato.
Yes, could Sal D'Amato stay home for this card? Like, please, for the love of God, chance. Like. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen the Home of Fight podcast, but it's a new podcast with Gilbert Burns and Renato Moicano, who we will get to later, with a bunch of guys that are actually big UFC gamblers. And they were talking about the judging, and Gilbert Burns made the point that, like, so the UFC doesn't pay the judges. It's actually the Athletic Commission, and they only pay them like a couple $100 per event.
Yeah, they only get paid like $100, $200 an event. They don't get paid anything at all.
So it's like, you get what you pay for, in a sense.
A lot of them are boxing judges, too. They don't even fucking know MMA.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Which is disappointing, you would think.
There are no real MMA judges. There's never been, like, a set standard for MMA judging. I mean, it's pretty loose, right? It's like there's it's not like people get trained to be MMA judges. Like, people get trained, you have to take a course to be, I don't even know how you become an MMA judge, but like in boxing, you have to like take a course, you know what I mean, and everything, and then you get certified to be a boxing judge. You get licensed by a commission.
Yeah, so it's like MMA, it's just like, with MMA, especially with refereeing, there's like a whole course you got to take.
Yeah.
And you have to ref certain like regional promotion cards first. You don't just get to start in the UFC. And like with MMA judging, it's like, hi, I'm Sal D'Amato. I judge for mixed martial arts. That's great, Sal. I had no idea you existed until like I saw your name on the TV once, but like good for you. Why are you taking a taxi if you judge MMA? Like, don't you make a lot of money?
No. Right. Yeah, speaking of refereeing, my old MMA coach, shout out to American Muay Thai out here in Parkville. But my old Muay Thai coach, he was a UFC referee for a short stint. So
there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
That's cool. Right, was he good or?
Yeah, no, he was pretty good. It was funny because I told him, I was like, I actually remember a couple of events when you were like refereeing. But
he's like
a three-time. I think he's like a three-time world kickboxing champion. He's like really, really good in like kickboxing, Muay Thai.
There we go.
A beast. Yeah.
Damn.
We need more guys like him.
Yeah.
No midget, Mr. Clean early stoppages, please.
No more Mr.
All right. We got 8 fights, guys, that we get to go through, and we're kicking it off with this fight. It is the second premier fight for Davison Figueiredo, a.k.a. Deuce de Guerra. He's going up against, I say, the ghost of Cody No Love Garbrandt. Cody is currently, I have the odds up here, just needs those. Cody is a 245 underdog. 14-5 record. They're fighting at bantamweight. Davison Figueiredo, second fight at that weight class. He's a minus 305 favorite with 11-3-1 record. In the UFC, Cody Garbrandt is 9-5 in the promotion. Garbrandt's last fight, he had a first-round knockout against Brian Kelleher, where Davison Figueiredo got a decision win against Rob Font. And with betting trends, I've discovered that Figueiredo is 6-2-1 as a UFC favorite. However, he's only gone 2-1-1 since 2020. Cody Garbrandt, since 2018, 0-2 as an underdog. Spaceman, I'm going to start with you here as our lovely guest. What's your pick here and what's your play?
Dang, caught me mid-munch.
My bad, bro. My bad.
No, you're good.
You
eat.
Good. We'll start.
No, okay, you're good. I got it. So Cody Garbrandt's looking like old form of late. He's like 2-0 in his last 2 fights. He had that devastating knockout of Brian Kelleher. I think it was a classic, like vintage Cody No Love knockout, slipped and then right hook KO. It was pretty beautiful. But up against some stiffer competition in Davison Figueiredo. Figueiredo is really nice. He has a lot of power. He had a lot of power when he was at flyweight, and he kind of just brought it up with him as he moved up to bantamweight. So I think even though Cody No Love has looked better of late, I think Figueiredo is going to pull this one out. It's probably going to be a knockout.
Ooh, bold prediction.
Just because Cody Garbrandt doesn't have the strongest chin anymore. And Davison Figueiredo hits really hard. So I think he's going to knock him out. Probably in the first round, maybe the second. It just depends on how aggressive Cody No Love is. But I don't think being that aggressive is a good move for him. But yeah, I'm going to take Figueiredo. I like Cody No Love as a fighter, and as I really like him as a person. I think he's a great dude, a real stand-up guy. But I just think the competition's a little bit too stiff for him. Even though Figueiredo's like new to the weight class, he's a proven champion. And just like Cody No Love has been a champion too, but we're way past those days when Cody was a champion. I mean, he's just lucky to be in contention at this point. So I think he's going to hit a brick wall on Davison Figueiredo, and I got Figueiredo by knockout.
Gotcha. Mansman, before I let you chime in, I just want to emphasize, because I forgot a couple notes. Over-under is set at 1.5 rounds right now. Over minus 200. Under plus 154. Cody No Love, he's got 11 knockouts under his belt. Davison Figueiredo, 17 finishes in his career. Mansman, what is your play?
Yeah, this is what we like to call the Mansman special. You know me, I love the first fight on the card. Agree with Spaceman. I think Figueiredo sleeps him.
Ooh.
I think Cody's been knocked out like 4 times now in his career, and this no offense, knocking out Boone Keller and beating Trevin Jones, not the same thing as fighting Davison Figueiredo. Oh wow, is that plus 170 really? Oh wow, okay, I might have to throw that.
I actually goofed. It's plus 175.
Oh shit, okay, I might have to. I think Cody's getting slept here. Yeah, I mean Figueiredo had power at flyweight, and now he's going to move up a weight class against Cody, who I think, like you said, has the suspect chin. Yeah, I 100% could see. I could 100% see Cody going to sleep in this fight. So, yep, Figueiredo by KO, Mansman special. There you have it. I found a way.
I agree with you guys. The only thing I'm going to touch on here that's a little different is, like, as far as the money line goes, I want to no bet this. Only because, like, I like Davison Figueiredo to win here. But we are talking about Cody No Love, who has been on a good 2-win fight streak. He does look like his old form, and he kind of said himself, like, there's a little bit of back and forth between the two. Cody just seems really prepared for being the first guy on the card to fight. He's ready to go, and he's already ready to, like, upset some people. And if you watch that Figueiredo fight with Rob Font, I mean, I think you kind of have to take that with a bit of a grain of salt, considering Rob Font has not been that great lately. He hasn't been looking good either, and that fight went to decision. So even though Figueiredo does have more power, and you could even say Font has more of a chin, it's like, I don't know if I want to bank on a knockout, but I think if you're looking for a way, that is the way he's going to do it. And you have to remember too, Figueiredo does have a lot of wrestling under his belt too, so it wouldn't shock me if like he clips him in the chin, gets him on the up against the cage, and takes us back. And then
that's a good point. That's a good point.
You could take the sub.
That's my only concern.
Oh, maybe have the double chance. I wonder what the double chance is for just like a finish.
I can pull that up right here. It's minus 185. Oh no, that's for a knockout or finish. Minus 105. So I think that's going to be my play.
I don't mind that one either.
So yeah, that's my play here because I'm just concerned about the possible submission finish. I don't think this goes to decision whatsoever. So over 1.5 would be my play. It does seem to make sense, but I don't want to play the under here on the off chance. You could play the under if you think it's going to be quick, but I think Figueiredo likes to feel his opponents out more so than anything. Cody might come in and attack first, and it might be a ground game early. So, yeah, give me the over there and give me the Figueiredo by finish.
Gotcha. We are agreed.
We are agreed. Next up, it's the fight we and the general public have been the most excited for.
Literally.
Why? I will tell you why. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But it is Jim fucking Miller, a.k.a. A10, going up against somehow the number 14th ranked King Bobby Green. Lightweight battle. Jim Miller is a 154 underdog, 37-17, 1 no contest record. Bobby Green, 31-15-1, 1 no contest as well. He's a minus 185 favorite. UFC records, Jim Miller, 26-16-1, 1 no contest. Bobby Green is 12-10-1, 1 no contest in the UFC. The over-under is set at 2.5. Both these boys have 20 finishes under their belts, with Jim Miller having 27 of them, 20 of them by submission. Bobby Green, 11 knockouts. Both of them, Jim Miller won his last fight with a third-round submission against Gabriel Benitez. Bobby Green got knocked the fuck out by Jalen Turner in the first round last time around. Betting trends, this is the scary part. Jim Miller, 1-4 in his last 5 as a UFC underdog. Bobby Green, all-time, 5-1, 1 no contest as a favorite.
Jesus. Oof.
Oh, man.
So, very interesting. I don't give a shit, though. Give me Jim Miller all fucking day here. And give me him at plus money. Here's why. It's not like it's anything cute or special where I just think it's going to be like a murder. I mean, it is like a 40-plus-year-old Jim Miller who, let's be honest, has kind of been fighting these new guys entering the UFC promotion and just keeping them at bay. And he's not even really looking at making a title run anymore. He's just kind of trying to stay relevant. He's just trying to stay on the winning streak. I just don't want to take my money and go to the bookie. And I don't want to lose my money on a Bobby Green who has a glass chin half the time, or the other half of the time he's knocking dudes out in 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. I think Bobby Green is just way too inconsistent for me to bet on him as a favorite. And if I'm going to win money, I'm going to win money by betting on Jim Miller. And to be honest with you, let's be real. How's he going to win? It's going to be a finish too. And like we said, there's an expectation that these could all be finishes. So, you know, with that said, if I took Jim Miller by finish, you know, I'm getting, where the hell? Double chance. Jim Miller by finish is plus 275. So, I mean, I could play the money line. I could play that. The over-under is set at over 1.5 by set. Or that's over 2.5. I'd play the under there. I think someone's going night-night dipshit in that fight. I just don't know who.
Yeah.
Sam, what's your take?
I'm taking Jim A10 Miller, man. It's his last fight. Yeah, I'm taking by sub. Honestly, that's how I'm taking him. I'm taking by submission.
And that's 6-1, folks, plus 600.
Look, I like Jim Miller a lot. I've been watching his fights for the past couple of years. Never really knew about the dude, but he's a solid dude. Sturdy chin, He's real durable. Hence the nickname A10 because you can't really kill him. The guy's really durable. He's only lost like one fight in the past couple years. Granted, he's been doing a lot of gatekeeping, but still, I really like his odds. He doesn't have a lot of power, so I don't really see him taking out Bobby Green on the feet. Although it's possible, I really see him taking the ground and locking a submission to close out his final UFC fight. So kudos to you, Jim Miller, on an awesome career, and good luck on Saturday
night. Only fighter to make it to UFC 100, 200, and 300.
All 3 cards.
Also, there is I don't know if it was the first or second fight, but he has wins by one of them by submission. The other one was a decision win. So if he gets a knockout here, that completes the trifecta.
That's crazy.
But
Money Man's
It's sad, man. I'm sad to see Jim Miller go. Like, I just like watching him fight, man. Like, his fights are interesting. It's just going to be a shame. Like, I wish he wasn't retiring. Like, come on, buddy. You're winning fights. Like, you can keep going. You got a couple more years in you. And another thing, too, just real quick. I feel like the UFC, what they need to change, they have all of these champs that literally fight, once a year? Like, Jim Miller, the guy you could get behind, because it feels like literally you see him fight all the time. Yeah. It's like he just fought a few months ago. I think he fought a couple times the year before. Oh, disappear.
Yeah, he disappeared real quick.
I'm back now. I'm back. It just feels like they don't fight like often enough to where I don't like Jim Miller. It seems like he's fighting all the time, but I think I'd go under here because I do think the fight's going to end in a finish. I think Bobby Green just seems like a class above what Jim Miller's been fighting. So if I had to choose, I'd probably choose Bobby Green, but I don't want to. My heart is Jim Miller. I hope you guys are right and Jim Miller wins because I want him to end with a victory. I love me some Jim Miller. Got to get behind him. So I'll be rooting for him, but I'm probably going to do an under, to tell you the truth, for this one.
Mm-hmm. So per DraftKings, 2-leg same game parlay, Jim Miller money line under 2.5, pays 3-1.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one.
That might be the play. I will give this credit to Bobby Green. He's a lot like Jim Miller in the sense where he always steps up and fights anybody, anywhere, doesn't matter, win or lose, he shows up, he gives it his best effort. So I think he's the perfect opponent for Jim Miller to hang his hat on, and win or lose, I got nothing but respect for both those guys, and that's a fight. I think that's the true reason we're all really excited to see this. It's just, we're going to get a good one. This isn't going to be some bullshit scrub. This isn't like another Jim Miller as a gatekeeper fight. This isn't another Bobby Green short notice, like, let's see what he does. This is a true, let's put these two together, let's see what the fuck magic can happen. So, kudos
I'm telling you, man, these prelims are going to be good. I think the prelims are going to be legit.
Yeah. I think the prelims, these are definitely going to be the best prelims that we've seen in a really long time. And it's going to be definitely going to be nice to – I don't know. I feel like 298, the prelims were pretty good. 299, they were pretty good. But I don't know. These just feel – they have a different feel to them. So I really think the prelims are going to be – they're going to set the tone for the rest of the night. That's how I feel.
100%. Yeah, they're going to do a good job of it too. All right, third fight. We're moving on to the women's strawweight bout, a.k.a. take a beer and bathroom break. It's the number 4 ranked strawweight, Jessica Bate Estasha Andrade. I know I fucked that nickname up. She's 25-12, a minus 142 favorite, going up against the number 6th ranked Marina Rodriguez, who's 17-3-2. Plus 120 underdog. She's got Marina Rodriguez 7-3-2 in the UFC, 1-0 Dana White's Contender Series. Jessica Andrade 16-10, 26 fights in the UFC.
She's been fighting forever.
18 finishes under Andrade's belt. Marina Rodriguez has 7 knockouts in her career. Over under is set at 2.5. Both of them won their last fight by a second-round knockout. Marina Rodriguez knocked out Michelle Waterson-Gomez, where Jessica Andrade knocked out Mackenzie Dern. Betting trends, Marina Rodriguez, 3-0 as an underdog. Andrade, 14-5 as a favorite, but she's only been 4-2 since 2020, and she lost her last 2 straight as a favorite. This one, I think, is a lot harder to pick than we give credit for. Mansman, I'll start with you. Where usually you like to bet the first women's fight on the card, and usually this is your cup of tea.
Yeah, you know what? Just to be a dick, I'll make this my best bet of the early prelims. Jessica Andrade. Ready for this handicap? No. You should know. If you looked at Marina Rodriguez's record, you should know what I'm going to say. Who did Marina Rodriguez lose to?
Hold on.
Who did she lose to? If you look at the record, you'll see who she lost to, and you'll know exactly why she's my best bet of the prelims.
Oh God, here we go.
You're gonna throw some bullshit out. I already know you, dude. You're gonna throw some.
Okay, I'll give it away. So you
hold on. I'm on.
Oh, hang on. Didn't she lose to Aspen Ladd?
Nope. Even worse.
All right, here we go. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, Sam could say, who did Marina Rodriguez lose to?
We're getting there. Who did she lose? It doesn't say the loss.
Steve would know. Steve will know when he sees it immediately.
Oh, Bernie Onderoba.
Oh, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's not a good loss either, but there was somebody even worse. A lot further back. Come on, Steve.
Carla Esparza?
She lost to the Cookie Monster. Yeah, that's an automatic bet.
There we go.
And Andrade, now there's a big height difference, but I feel like Andrade could take her down. And no offense, if Marina Rodriguez lost to the Cookie Monster, Andrade is better. I mean, you knocked out Michelle Waterson. Big whoop.
The bum.
Yeah, Jessica Andrade, take this bitch down. You lost to Carla Esparza. You suck.
Sam, you better help me.
I got Jessica Andrade by KO because Marina Rodriguez.
Oh my God, the both of you are on.
I'm telling you, because she doesn't have like a solid chin, brother. Like, if I were to say this in Dagestani terms, I'd be like, brother, she has no chin, brother. She cannot get hit in face, brother. It's not good, brother.
Brother,
She's no good, brother. Brother.
What is that? What is that?
You know, like sunglasses.
God.
Why are they?
You're gonna talk me off of her.
Bro, look, I like
Rodriguez.
I like her. I think she's a great fighter, but Jessica Andrade is the best striker in the strawweight division by far. Like,
that's a bold claim considering she got her ass whooped the last fight.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, brother, she slammed Rose Namajunas down on her head, sent her to freaking the Shadow Realm. She has hands of stone. She's like 5'2". She's little AF, but she has like freaking cinder blocks for hands. She's a warrior, and she's a pioneer. She's been fighting forever, so you really gotta give her a lot of credit. 26 fights is a lot of fights, and
I see the problem is though. I think Andrade is losing her chin though. Like it's kind of like the same issue with Cody No Love. It's not the issue of whether they're a tough son of a bitch. I think we can all agree, like a Cody No Love, he's a tough guy to get in the ring with. But I just think that Andrade over the years, especially lately, like, yeah, she had that knockout against Mackenzie Dern. But prior to that, she lost to Tatiana Suarez. She got choked the fuck out. Jianan Yan knocked her ass out too. She then got choked out by Erin Blanchfield. And I mean, her last real good win besides Mackenzie Dern, maybe Amanda Lemos, maybe Cynthia Calvillo. But I mean, let's be honest. Do we really think those are good quality wins looking back? Or, you know, is she getting someone who Albeit, like, I'm not saying Marina Rodriguez is great, but, like, do I want to bet on Andrade as, like, a betting favorite, considering she pretty much has gotten her ass kicked the last 3 out of her 4 fights? Like, why would I want to lose money? Like, that just seems like a way to lose money. Like, I'm going to bet on
Andrade. I feel like those fighters are better than Rodriguez, though. I really do.
I feel like Marina Rodriguez has really fought tomato cans. Like, she hasn't really fought anyone particularly good. And I'm looking at her record. That's a fair point. And it's like she fought Vina Jandiroba. Like, Vina Jandiroba beat her by decision. Michelle Warson Gomez, she's not really that good. Amanda Lemos is good. She beat her. She beat Zhang Xiaonan by decision. And now
it was a split decision, which a lot of people think that she lost.
Yeah, Yan Xiaonan's fighting for the title right now. She beat Mackenzie Dern by decision. She beat Michelle Warson Gomez by decision. Amanda Hebos, she KO'd her, but everyone knows how Amanda Hebos is. Like, she's pretty inconsistent. She drew with Cynthia Calvillo. She beat Raquel Pennington, and that was all the way back in 2019. And she lost to Carla Esparza by decision. So she's not an electric fighter at all, you know.
No, there's nothing electric about her, and I think that's a valid argument. But I guess my point I'm making is, like, I look at the losses with Verna Jandiroba with a decision. Verna is 18-3. I think she's getting she's one of the most underrated women fighters around, especially in the UFC. Verna, I think she's a lot better than we give her credit for.
Didn't Verna just win too? Did Verna just win?
She did just win.
As a 2-1 dog, she won. Yeah, it was insane. I won money off of her because I was like, why are we putting her 2-1 against it was a Mexican fighter. I forget her name, but
was it Lupi Godinez?
It was.
Yeah, it was Lupi Godinez. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you lost to somebody who really is a lot better than we give credit for. The Amanda Lemos 3rd round left hook. I will say, like, the longer this fight goes, like, if you wanted to bet on, like, Andrade, I wouldn't bet by knockout. I'd be more the lean decision, or, like, do a 3rd round, like, over. Just go over on the rounds, because I just think if you're Andrade, you're going to play this a little smarter, considering you have been finished a lot lately. And Marina Rodriguez does have a lot of those under her belt as well. She has enough strong punching power, too. She can knock women out. But I just don't know if I want to trust my money on Andrade. I'm picking Rodriguez. I would pick her by decision if I had to play it, but I doubt I'm going to lay a lot of chalk on it. This isn't like my best bet or anything.
Well, essentially, my concern on your side, Steve, is I feel like Andrade gets on top with those hands. Like, I think she could ground and pound and bust her up. Like,
yeah,
I could 100% see that happen.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with Andrade's like chin and her own stability, and is that something I really want to lean on, especially when 3 of the last 4 fights it's been like not the case. So pretty weary of that. I think it's going to be interesting to see in the sense of like whatever does happen. I think an argument could be made depending on how they win. They might be the next number 1 contender for the belt. So will be interesting to see what happens after this down the line. But in terms of this fight, like, could do with or without it. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the different side, but we'll see how that goes. All right, last fight on the early prelims. It's a lightweight battle. I mentioned this guy earlier. It's the number 14th ranked Renato Money Moicano, 18-5-1 record, plus 195 underdog, going up against number 10 Jalen the Tarantula Turner, 14-7, minus 238. Dana White's Contender Series alumni. 7-4 UFC record. Moicano 10-5. Over under set at 1.5. Moicano has 10 submissions under his belt. Jalen Turner 10 knockouts. As I mentioned earlier, Turner knocked out Bobby Green in his last fight. Renato Moicano, he had a fight with Drew Dober that went to decision, where Moicano won. And as far as trends go, Jalen Turner 7-2 is a favorite, but he did lose 2 of his last 3 fights by a split decision. Moicano, he's 2-2 as an underdog, if it's interesting to anyone. Sam, I think it's your turn to start this one off, but where do you go here?
I'm taking Jalen Turner. I really like the Tarantula. I like the way he fights. He's really tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4", 155. Yeah, I think he's like 6'3". He's a really tall, lanky, lightweight, and that reach can provide a lot of problems. He's also really skilled at grappling, and his striking is top class. So I really think that Moicano only has the advantage in the submission game, but I don't really think he's going to be able to use it because he's going to be struggling with Jalen Turner using his reach. Jalen Turner did lose to, I think it was Dan Hooker. Was it? Did he lose that?
Yeah, fight? That was one of his split. That was one of his split decision losses.
Yeah. But overall, he's looked really good. When he's on form, he's pretty unbeatable. So I think it's going to be a quick night in the office. And I got Jalen Turner by KO. I'm thinking like maybe if you want to pick a round, it's probably going to be first or second round.
Damn, Sam's got knockouts for all 4 fights so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez. I hope you're right, Sam. I mean, this is an exciting card.
Yeah. You got to be bold, sold, and
I'll pull up the
UFC 300.
Although I will say the odds kind of support him. I mean, it's an over-under of 1.5 with the under as the favorite, minus 130. So, and yeah, Jalen Turner knockout, minus 135. Jalen Turner first round knockout, plus 175. So, I mean, it sounds like the books are on board with everything that Sam just said. Here's my angle, and this is why I'm slightly disagreeing with him. I do have Jalen Turner here, but I actually have this by decision. If you remembered that Dan Hooker fight, as good as Jalen Turner is, and I think he is, the number 10 ranked for a good reason, he's not necessarily the best on the feet, and he's very prone to keeping his face out and open. He's taken a lot of shots before that would knock out other dudes.
Yeah.
So I'm just concerned in that sense that, will he come out, and a guy who's known for wrestling, we've seen this before too, a guy who's known for wrestling goes in and just starts swinging and keeping things on the feet, avoiding the ground, which I think is going to be a detriment to Moicano, which is why I do believe he will lose. But I could also see that, like, if Moicano does get the takedowns and he does get it to the ground, is there going to be a lot of grappling? Is there going to be a lot of action? Or is it just going to be a lot of, like, technical maneuvering where, no one's just trying to get choked out? This is the fight I feel like if there was going to be a safe fight, this is it. Yeah. So, but I just think with Jalen Turner being as good as he is, he's a guy who probably could keep Moicano humble and either keep it on the feet, or he could, hold his own on the ground, which is why I would pick him to win by decision, because you're getting a better bang for your buck there, and I just think that's the more realistic way, and that's 7-1. That's 7-1, so, I mean, but they have this early. They think Turner's going to knock him out. Mansman, what side of the fence do you lean on here?
I mean, I think as a pure numbers play, I would go Moicano here. I don't really feel like he should be this big of a dog, although I kind of see why. This is one of those fights where I almost feel like the way to play it, you wait to live bet to see if Moicano gets his first takedown stuffed. Because if he can't grapple and he's going to be on the feet with Turner, I agree with Sam. Like, I think eventually he's going to get chinned, and that's going to be the end of it. I feel like if there's a takedown, then at least you have a chance of winning a decision with the dog. But yeah, I would go with the dog here because I think the numbers are. I don't know if I believe that Turner should necessarily be this big of a favorite, but at the same time, I can kind of see where they're coming from. So this is probably This is probably the fight I have the least sort of desire to mix up with, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. So 2 things. You can get Renato Moicano on DraftKings plus 3.5 at plus 140. So if you have a sense this could go to decision, maybe he wins a round. You might luck out there if you want to play it that way. 20 and DraftKings now has actual betting trends other than the underdog. So 21% of the money is on Renato Moicano, 79 on Turner. So
yeah,
if you want to fade
I wish Turner like knockout was like plus 150, which I know it wouldn't be. because then maybe you bet like Moicano plus 3.5, Turner to get a knockout. Because I think there's a big risk. You play Moicano 3.5, he gets his takedown stuffed in the first round, and then gets chinned in the second round.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. So it's for me, it's like Jalen Turner or nothing. If I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it. But I'm not confident enough that he's actually going to get the first round knockout. And it's like a big public play, and as DeGents, we love to fade the public at times. This is me, I guess, sort of trying to fade the public here.
Yeah, I just think Jalen Turner is I think he's too lanky, and I don't think Moicano's going to be able to get in there, get any takedowns on him. I don't think Moicano is necessarily that good at wrestling to a point where he would be able to take him down. I think Jalen Turner has good enough takedown defense that any wrestling that Moicano could present is pretty basic level, and it's just not really enough to challenge somebody like Jalen Turner who's that long and lanky. So I don't think I think Moicano, I honestly think he's going to have a lot of trouble trying to close the distance, and he's not really going to be able to get close enough to actually create some sustainable offense for the fight,
Yeah, it's like for Moicano, what's the path to victory? It's going to be on the ground. If he can't do that, is he going to win by decision?
He's neutralized.
I don't think so. It's just but the way Jalen Turner has looked lately with those split decision losses too, it's like, is he going to try and keep this on the feet, or is he going to play into the game where it goes on the ground? That's why I'm just concerned. This knockout play, it just seems like when it's almost too good to be true, it might be. So if I was going to play it, I'd play the over.
I think it depends on which Jalen Turner shows up, right? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Is he going to be passive, or is he going to be clinical and aggressive? Because that's really the two sides of Jalen Turner. So it just depends on who shows up for the fight. And I think that's going to be a big thing for the entire card, right? Are fighters going to want to be more open, or are they going to want to be more conservative? Because it is the biggest card of the year. You want to put on a good show, but at the same time, you don't want to get knocked out.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that gets
knocked out in front of everyone at UFC 300, and then you're on somebody else's highlight reel because you decide that you're going to be too aggressive.
And my last point, unlike the last three fights we talked about, these guys still have a very long career in the UFC as long as they keep up what they're doing. The other people, you could say, they're making their last chance at a title run. Jim Miller's about to retire. Bobby Green is essentially a gatekeeper. Davidson Figueiredo, and he's trying to make a new run at bantamweight, and Cody Garbrandt's on his last legs too. So if he wants to make, he has to come out. This seems like the fight where they don't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah.
Or make a statement. They still have a lot left in their gas tanks. So that's my play. Time to move on to the prelim card. And we're starting it off with Maryland's own number 13th ranked Sadiq Super Yusuf featherweight fight, 13-3, plus 120 underdog, going up against the one and only Diego Lopez, fan favorite for some reason. Lopez minus 142 favorite. He's 23-6. 2-1 record for Diego Lopez in the UFC, where Sadiq Yusuf is 6-2. Yusuf has 6 finishes by knockout. Diego Lopez, 21 finishes under his belt in his career, 12 of them by submission. Last fight, Sadiq Yusuf lost by decision to Edson Barboza. Diego Lopez knocked out Pat Sabatini in the first round, if you caught that. And as far as betting trends go, Sadiq Yusuf is only getting 25% of the bets. Diego Lopez, 75% clip.
I think I lost money on that Pat Sabatini fight, if I remember correctly.
I had Sabatini winning that, and he got absolutely blasted. He got blasted.
Yeah, and if you remember too, it was in a weird rolling transition from Pat Sabatini. I don't know if he thought it was going to the ground or if he was just trying to muscle his way out, but it was a weird rolling transition where he was trying to get up and then he just got clipped.
Yeah, I watched that Sadiq Yusuf fight too, and he almost won. There was a point in that first round where he had Barboza really rocked, and he could have finished that, and he didn't. And Edson Barboza just put on one of the most beautiful comebacks I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he just really. dominated.
And with that said, give me my dog of the prelims. Give me Sadiq Yusuf plus 120 on the money line.
Oh,
here's why. Diego Lopez, he might have more of the like fighting experience. Who has he fought? Like of substantial stature. That makes you go, wow, this guy looks like someone who should be a big favorite here. Which really it isn't a big favorite, but
he's like a moderate favorite. I wouldn't go big.
He's a moderate favorite. I mean, this is the guy who lost in his Contender Series debut, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he lost by a unanimous decision in his Contender Series. Comes back in the UFC 2 years later, loses to Movsar Evloev. He then beats a Gavin Tucker by armbar triangle, and then he got that clip on Pat Sabatini, which I do think is like a good knockout, but like, what the fuck else has he done? Whereas you look at a Sadiq Yusuf, his only 2 UFC losses that I see, he lost to Arnold Allen by decision.
Right.
Who went on to go on and fight Max fucking Holloway and get wrecked there. Yeah. And then that Edson Barboza, where like Sam said, it was like one of the most miraculous comebacks you've ever seen.
It was beautiful. I love Edson Barboza.
And it was beautiful.
He's one of my all-time favorites.
Oh yeah, all respect to him. It's just but then you also look at his resume. He beat Andre Fili. He beat Alex Caceres. He beat Gabriel Benitez. He knocked him out. Or got him in a ground and pound. He was on a long winning streak, and he had only lost 1 UFC fight prior to this Edson Barboza situation. And now you're giving me this guy plus money. Like, no offense to Diego Lopez, and like I know he has the experience. I think he does belong in the UFC in an extent, but I don't get this is wrong guy favorite all the way, if you ask me. So I'm going against the grain there. So this is my dog play. Sadiq Yusuf by knockout too is a big problem. I think that's the pathway to his victory. 4-1 plus 400.
Yeah, 4-1. Yeah.
Dang.
So I know it's going against the public, but
I endorse. Yeah. I was looking at Yusuf. Maybe not as confident. That's a hard fight for me, but yeah, I kind of lean Yusuf too for some of the same reasons you gave, Steve. It's not like I really thought his name was pronounced Lopes, but maybe I'm just being an idiot. But anyway, yeah, he hasn't really beaten, although I lost money with the Pat Sabatini fight, which I think is what sort of made me a little cautious. But I kind of agree with you. I'd actually go with Yusuf here. I think Yusuf's fought some good opponents. I think he's certainly a match for Lopez or Lopes or whatever you call him. And yeah, getting him as a little bit of a dog, I think that's a good money-making strategy. So I do expect some dogs to show up in this card. And yeah, I endorse the pick. He's not my dog of the card, but I endorse.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go against you guys and pick Diego Lopez just because the guy's a devastating striker, right? And so the last time that Sadiq Yusuf was up against somebody who was a devastating striker, a.k.a. Edson Barboza, he showed some weaknesses in his game, which are his chin specifically, and even more so his cardio. His cardio completely gave out on him by like the second or third round. This is a 3-round fight, so he should be prepped to go. He should be able to stay in there, but I'm just a little iffy on him because of his cardio, and he took some big shots in that Edson Barboza fight. And with somebody who hits as hard as Lopez, I think he's going to sleep. I think Lopez is going to –
5 for 5.
I think Lopez is going to injure him in the beginning, and I think he's going to close it out. Unlike Barboza didn't close it out. He had a chance to, but I think with somebody as dangerous as Diego Lopez, I think he's honestly going to close it out. So I'm taking Diego Lopez by KO.
Jesus Christ. I think Sam needs to bring the NyQuil. He's got everyone going to sleep.
Bro, I got the promethazine right here.
Forget fucking Spaceman. Sam's fucking NyQuil, Celentano. Sam melatonin. Fucking Jesus Christ. He got everyone. He got everyone taking naps. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
I just want to see all not like this has potential to be one of those cards. I think the last it was a freaking Oh, it was last year. It was a fight night card, and it was like 13 fights, 13 finishes.
Remind me of the London card.
It might have been the London card.
Yo, remember the London? That shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was
everybody
crazy.
was getting finished.
All fights, all finishes. And I really think that if it goes the way I think it's going to go, we're going to be in for like one of the nicest, most satisfying cards we've ever seen. It's
100%.
It's historic. It's UFC 300. I'm picking all knockouts for every fight. All right, except for one, maybe. No. You know what? I'm gonna take that one too. Too.
Sam, you're fucking wild,
ain't getting another knockout.
Yeah, and look, my Colorado Rockies here are gonna win the fucking World Series too. Like, I mean, like,
oh man.
Like, speaking of things that will definitely not happen, but I like the optimism. I'll give you that. I'm enthusiastic. All right, so me and Manson are on Youssef, and Sam is on Diego Lopez or Lopes. All right, next up, this is Sam. I swear, if you pick a knockout for here, we're gonna have a talk.
Hey, I
don't know. Women's bantamweight, the women's bantamweight. We got the number 5 ranked Holly, the preacher's daughter, home. 15-6, won no contest. She's a 3-1 underdog, plus 330. She's going up against the debut of Kayla Harrison, 16-1, minus 425. This is her UFC debut. Harrison has 12 finishes under her belt, 6 by knockout. Holly Holm has 8 knockouts under her belt. And I apologize to earlier. I made a mistake. I mentioned Andrade had an overturn due to she had one overturned, I think. It was actually Holly Holm who had her last fight overturned. She originally got choked out by Maria Bueno Silva. That was overturned due to a positive drug test for ADHD medication, allegedly. And with Kayla Harrison, her last fight was in PFL. She won by unanimous decision against Aspen Ladd. Kayla Harrison, she's been a betting favorite in all 17 of her fights. Holly Holm has been a underdog 4 times in her career. She has only won once, and that was against the one and only Ronda Rousey.
See one? I'm telling y'all.
So, Sam, tell us how this one ends in a knockout.
I'm gonna tell you exactly. So, I've never seen. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I've never watched a Kayla Harrison fight in my life. I know very little.
So you never watched PFL?
You're not really missing anything.
Yeah, I've heard she's really good, right? And I've studied her, so I know she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, very much like Ronda Rousey, but she's better than Ronda Rousey because she won 2 gold medals and Ronda Rousey only won bronze. So Kayla Harrison, shout out to you. You're pretty awesome. But I think if Holly Holm wins this fight, it's either going to be by decision or by knockout. And Holly Holm is one of the most gifted technical strikers that we have ever seen in the women's bantamweight division. The last time she was up against a judo fighter was that legendary fight against Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey says that she tripped down some steps and she had concussion. I don't think that Kayla Harrison is going to make up any crazy excuses for why she – I don't think Kayla Harrison is going to say anything that crazy. That CT is really starting to set in with Ronda Rousey, and it's a pretty slippery slope and a slow decline for sure. But yeah, I think I want Holly Holm to win. I like Holly Holm as a fighter. She's a legend. She had 2 legendary careers, one in MMA, one boxing. So just because I really don't know anything about Kayla Harrison, I might have to take the L here. But I'm going with Holly Holm by KO.
Here he is, another knockout.
You know what? At least he's consistent. At least he's consistent.
It's either or. It's KO or decision. I already committed to KOs. I'm going all KOs, guys.
Damn the Sandman, Celentano, fucking.
I'm gonna break out my kendo stick and my.
You know what? You know what, Sam, though? If you were to bet on that for Holly Holm by knockout or decision, It's only plus 350, so it's actually like not that far off from her money line. So the book, I guess the books had the same thought as you in that sense. If you were to bet her, that's how she's been.
Kind of crazy, really.
I'm the books.
Kind of crazy. That's nuts.
But he's picking a 3-1 underdog though. Like, can we let that sink in for a minute? And it's the ghost of Holly Holm. Like,
yeah,
it's not the Holly Holm of Prime. Like,
that's the problem too. I really feel like Prime Holly Holm would win this fight.
Easy,
right?
You would think that it would be like a more even money
line. Can we
bet.
Maybe the bet really should be, does Kayla Harrison even make weight? Like, do we know if she could make 135? She's been fighting at like 155. Like, is she even going to make weight?
155. 145 would be where she would fight if they didn't get rid. They could have rebuilt the division around her, but no one else fights at 145, so there's no one for her to fight.
I don't know. There's people in PFL doing it.
Yeah, but
Aspen Ladd, who got cut from the UFC for failing to make 135.
Who couldn't make weight to save her life. You put a gun to her head and told her to make weight, she's dead on the She's
done. What about Martine Jindrova? Martine Jindrova. Or Martina. And who are these other people Kayla fought? I mean, you look at the names, you would never. I mean, I'd literally like run into these people in like an Uber, and I wouldn't fucking. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Caitlin Young." I'd be like, "Wow, cool, that's nice."
Oh, cool.
Nice. I fight for PFL. Really nice.
I'm like, you could beat me up, but I don't know who you are.
I'm a professional gambler. Like,
I'm an MMA analyst.
So Kayla Harrison she's got 3 fights with Larissa Pacheco. That's like her big thing. She did lose the last one against her by decision. Redeemed herself against Aspen Ladd, but like literally the whole Aspen Ladd situation, if you remember, it was Uncle Dana literally said like, "Oh, you're basically too fat to get 135. Take your fat ass to PFL." Like, because you want to keep missing weight.
And
whereas he could have just rebuilt it, but you know.
Real quick, Holly Holm has also been training with Chris Cyborg, so that should tell you something.
Oh,
the level of striking.
Do you really want to bet on a Holly Holm who literally was getting wrecked by Maria Bueno Silva? And it had to get overturned because. Yeah, I mean, are you really getting prime Holly Holm here? This is the ghost of Christmas past, Holly Holm.
Brother, we might see some flash of brilliance. I don't know. I think Kayla Harrison's like the new up and comer. She's supposed to be like the next big thing, apparently, to come save the women's bantamweight division, which is in peril. I like Raquel Pennington. I think she's a great champion. I'd like to see her stay champion for a while because I like her story, and I just really, really like her as a person. So I don't know. Juliana Pena is kind of out of the running, and then, I mean, you got to spice it up somehow. I don't think Holly Holm's going to fight for the title again. No. But I think she has probably 3 more fights, and then she's retiring. So, you know, that's what I think.
Well, yeah. I think if it's not this fight that she retires, it'll be the one after.
Yeah.
Don't you have a fear? And don't get me wrong, I would love to bet Holly Holm but God, don't you have a fear that this is going to just be like Bo Nickel, where Kayla Harrison's going to get a takedown in the first 30 seconds, and then it's going to take another 30 for Holly Holm to get slept? Like, it's my only fear.
That's a very real possibility.
Yeah,
I guess for 3-1, you flick a fucking chip and see what happens.
As my neighbor Miguel used to say, it's worth a 10. It's a bet. Like, it's a bet. Like, I don't see it being a first round Bo Nickel type finish. Truth be told, like, I think there is going to be some time in the ring. Like, I don't know if I play the over here necessarily, but I definitely think it'll take more time than we expect. It's not going to be like a 1 minute one.
I'm wondering if this fight's even going to happen. I'm telling you, I don't know if Kayla Harrison makes weight.
I'm right there with my mansman. that's a big if, like a big if. And she said that they'd run some test cuts. She'd made weight and like 3 out of 3 times on the test cuts, but when it comes down to really making weight, I mean, she walks around at like 170. She's huge. So
yeah,
that's
and
huge. That's a huge weight cut, especially for someone who's never fought at 135 before. It's definite. It could definitely come down to the fight being, off at the last minute or turning into a catchweight fight because she doesn't make weight.
yeah, I should clarify because I did not bring that up. Kayla Harrison used to fight at women's lightweight, so she used to fight at 150.
155
in the PFL. 155.
She's fighting at 155 in the PFL.
So yeah, now you got to add another 15-pound weight cut. It's easier said than done. So I think there is a lot of merit to that. But we'll see what happens come tomorrow. Because tomorrow we'll be talking about our main card picks, but we'll also have time to check in the weigh-ins and comment on that.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. On this show, you miss weight, you're like an automatic bet against.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our picks are subject to change based on weigh-ins and other bullshit. So yeah, if you miss weight, you're a no bet. It doesn't matter what we think. We refuse to put money on someone who
In
can't.
true DeGent fashion, our fat asses just can't fool people.
Exactly.
Be a professional. Make weight. As we sit here and shove a beer and shoot us.
You got one job. Make weight. That's it.
Literally. All right. Prelim co-main is going to be a banger at the featherweight. It's the debut of Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling at the featherweight division. He's somehow the number 2 ranked in that division all of a sudden.
Already.
And he's a minus 175 favorite with a 23-4 record. Calvin, the Boston finisher Cater, he's 23-7, plus 146 underdog. He's 7-5 in the UFC, but 13 finishes under his belt, 10 by knockout. Aljamain Sterling has 11 wins by decision. His last fights, Cater's coming off that second round knee injury against Arnold Allen, I think back in 2022.
He was losing that fight too.
Oh, he was getting wrecked. It wasn't even close. And then Sterling is coming off that loss against Sean O'Malley still, where he lost his championship belt. But nice to see that he's getting his teammate Merab Davashvili to a chance to win that. But
we love Merab. Shout out Merab Davashvili. We love
Merab the meme king.
Merab's the funniest guy in the UFC, and everybody should cheer for him because he's going to beat Sean O'Malley and become the bantamweight champion. So heard it here first today.
Aljamain's getting 75% of the tickets, and he's a 10-2 as record as a betting favorite for Sterling. Cater 3-2 as an underdog. Mansman, I'm gonna start with you here. Are you gonna shock us again with another dog, or we're gonna?
I told you before who my best bet was going to be for the prelims, and I'm going Aljo here. This is a tough fight back for Calvin Cater. I mean, you lost the decision to Josh Emmett. I don't know. I just think this is it feels like a good bounce back spot for Aljo coming into a division, going up against a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years. And on the other hand, a tough spot for a guy coming back for 2 years against a pretty well-rounded fighter. I've kind of been an Aljo fan to begin with. I think he won me a ton of money before when he fought. That was the Peter Yan fight when he got kneed in the face, right? Am I thinking of the thing? Yeah. I've had some good history with Aljo.
That was the card remember it was when the pandemic hit and it was like the first UFC card back.
Yeah.
That was like one of the main fights.
That's Fight Island, I think, right? Yeah.
It was at Fight Island, and Aljo fucking got kneed in the face illegally.
I was so mad. That was the beginning of the end for Petr Yan, but
yeah, really was.
See how he does.
But yeah, I like Aljo here. I think this is a tough spot for Cater, so this is going to be my best bet. I like Aljo. I'm going to go with the proven commodity here.
Gotcha. Spaceman, you riding with Aljo?
I am. I like Aljo. I think I think that he just got unlucky in his last fight against Sean O'Malley because I do think he's a more well-rounded fighter. Sean O'Malley's striking has proven to be difficult for all his competitors, so no fault on Aljo's part at all. He's a really well-rounded fighter. He has an excellent grappling. His grappling's excellent. Wrestling's really good. Striking's on point. So I think Calvin Kattar is a great fighter. I do like him, but he's really struggled when it comes to facing stiffer competition. That's been the one point where he's never really been able to get over a hump, and I don't think it's going to be a difference. So just like I've said with every other fight, I'm picking – actually, hold on. I'm picking Aljo by sub in this fight. Picking Aljo by sub. That's how I'm taking this one.
Aljo by sub.
Is this your one? It's not a knockout?
This is my one. I'm taking sub or knockout, but I think he's going to submit him probably in possibly round 1, but I'm really leaning towards round 2.
I'm with you guys on Aljo. I think Aljo is the play. He is the more healthy, ready fighter who's able to face different competition. I am a little concerned with the moving up in weight class in the sense that you get a guy like Sean O'Malley and you lose against him. Now you're going up against a Calvin Kattar who's already been fighting at that weight. Mm-hmm. You know, is his stand-up skill gonna carry over up a weight class? Or is he going to have to rely more on that ground game? So I think yes. I think Aljo's wrestling is going to be the key here. And we kind of forgot within the last few fights how good Aljamain Sterling's wrestling really is.
Crazy.
I mean, if memory serves correctly, he held his own against Henry Cejudo.
He has 8 wins by submission.
And 8 wins by submission. So it's but if I'm going to play this and I think about it, I could see Aljo being a little cautious this time around because he did get technically knocked out by Sean O'Malley last go around. So if I was doing a double chance here, I wouldn't go by finish. I would actually do Aljo by submission or decision. Because right now the over 2.5 is sitting at a big minus 215. And Aljo by decision is only plus 120 right now on DraftKings.
Not so bad.
Not so bad, but if you do take the double chance where it's submission or decision, it drops his odds down to minus 160, which is a little more tolerable compared to the money line. But I think, again, you think about what are the keys to victory, and that's just going to be it. I don't see Aljo winning a stand-up battle against Calvin Kattar. I think it would just be a little too much disrespect towards him. But yeah, Kattar, it's like you said, he's lost 3 of his last 4. He fought a bunch of killers, though. We forget he knocked out Jeremy. He knocked out Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah,
he beat Dan Ige. He beat Dan Ige and Giga Chikadze by decision.
Yeah,
he lost. He got his ass kicked by Max Holloway, but who hasn't? Josh Emmett was actually a lot closer of a fight than we remember, and then he broke his leg. So I just think that to say that Kattar doesn't have it anymore. I think it's just kind of we're writing him off a little prematurely. I think this is the comeback fight, and this is the perfect guy you give him. So let's see what he has. But I just don't know if Kattar has enough skill to beat a former champ like Sterling. That's why I pick him. But Sterling by decision just makes a little bit too much sense. But there is that submission possibility. So
yeah, I like Sterling by sub. That's the one I'm taking here. But I mean, Calvin Kattar is nice. He has really good boxing. His boxing is super crisp. I'm not really too keen on his takedown defense because he hasn't fought too many wrestlers. He fought Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett has pretty good wrestling, but I don't really remember that fight was so long ago. I don't really remember what that.
But here's a couple wrestlers he did fight, and it tells you everything. Zabit Magomed Sharipov.
Oh,
Zabit, he lost by decision there. Renato Moicano, we just talked about him. Very well-known wrestler. Lost to him by decision. And it's true, Calvin Kattar struggles against these wrestler types. And that's why Aljo should win.
That's a good point.
So I just think for Aljo, the question is, does Aljo try to keep this on the feet and make a spectacle, or does he be smart and utilize what he does best? And if he does that, then that's how he wins. But all right, let's go to the prelim main event. It is. Whew, I don't know why this one isn't on the pay-per-view, because this alone should.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight.
I know. I'm stoked for this one. This is going to be a banger.
Light heavyweight prelim main event. It is Yuri Prochazka, a.k.a. BJP, number 2 ranked light heavyweight, going up against the return of Alexander Rocket Rakic, number 5 ranked light heavyweight. Rakic is 14-3. Prochazka is 29-4-1. Prochazka is technically an underdog, -105. Rakic is a -115 favorite. Rakic 6-2 UFC record. Prochazka is 3-1. Both these boys have a lot of finishes, but Rakic only has 9 knockouts to Prochazka's 25. Last fight, both of them did lose, where Prochazka got knocked out by Alex Pereira, the current champion, and Alexander Rakic had injured his leg against Jan Blachowicz in 2022. And if you remember, because I just talked about it with Calvin Kattar, but I don't know if you guys remember, there was like that, I don't know if it was back-to-back or not, but there was that issue where like there was like multiple fighters who were getting all those leg injuries, and it was like in that same span. So Rakic was the other victim here.
Yeah, I remember that.
Against Jan. Interesting stat, Prochazka's only been a underdog twice. He's 1-1. Rakic also has never been an underdog. He's always been a UFC betting favorite.
That's insane.
So, yeah. So, this here is what I like to dub the Big Bucks Beta Special. Main event on the prelim. And just take your favorite fighter on it. So, sorry. That is Mansman's. It's Yuri or nothing here. Give me Yuri Prochazka -105 on the money line. I'm pissed I didn't get this earlier at +100 when it was actually plus money, but Rakic is coming off that real bad leg injury, and I think we've seen this with guys like Conor McGregor. We've seen this with Chris Wiseman, and Anderson Silva. Like, you're not this for some reason. And as a guy who's broken his leg in not a similar fashion, but broken his leg, I can attest. You just don't walk the same. You don't run the same. And I just don't know if these guys are going to fight the same. And with Rakic being like a pick'em here, it's almost kind of like there's something I'm either missing, or Yuri just isn't as good as we think. And I just don't think that second answer is a possibility. Yuri has always just been a stone cold fucking killer. He just hasn't been in the UFC that long. And let's be honest, you lose to Alex Pereira, who, as Sam said, he's like the hardest hitting motherfucker in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's a killer.
Okay.
He's a stone cold killer.
Makes sense if he gets knocked the fuck out. He's a killer. Like, it's a light heavyweight division. If you're not getting killed at least once or twice, I mean, you're either doing something really good or you're not fighting anyone of substantial stature. So, Rakic, I'm just too concerned to really play that angle. And I think Yuri, looking for a bounce back win, this is the perfect opponent for him. I could play Yuri by knockout and get myself a little bit more juice, but, you know, there is always the possibility that, like, something crazy happens, goes to decision. So, my best play here for the Big Buck Special, just give me him on the money line. We're calling it a day. Sam, who do you got here?
I got Yuri by knockout. Easy money. Easy money with Yuri on the knockout. I mean,
here's knockout again.
Yes.
You know what? Here, I had a feeling. Here you go, Sam.
25 finishes, right? And every single UFC fight he's had has been a finish, except for when he got finished by he finished Dominic Reyes. He finished Glover Teixeira in the 5th. He had that come from behind rear naked choke. And then he finished God, who else did he fight? I can't remember.
I'm
gonna look you up. Anyways, the guy's an absolute mauler, 25 KOs. He has a 90%, well, at least he did. He had a 90%.
Oh, it was Volkan Ozdemir. That was his debut.
Oh, yeah, Volkan Ozdemir. So he has like a 95% finish rate for his career. So I'm definitely betting on him to get it done the only way he knows how, and that's by taking people's heads off. So I got him by KO or submission. Submission's the alternative, but I really like him with the KO in this one. Probably going to be a nice elbow. Get that action in there. Take him out.
So Mansman, I want to bring this up to you. The over-under was set at 2.5 rounds. The under 2.5 being a minus 160. Yuri by decision, plus 650. Rakic by decision, 275.
25 KOs, 23 first-round finishes. In 34 fights. That's pretty
odds to go odds to go the distance is only plus 165. So we're getting better odds at a finish with these two light heavyweights specifically. And let's not forget too that Alexander Rakic was a fucking killer too prior to
his while. So. I think he's got. I don't think he's as good as everyone thinks he is. Because there was one fight before this. I forget who he was fighting.
But he won a lot by decision that I can see. But Mansman, I'll let you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Mansman, what's your play here, bud?
I see this as closer to a coin flip fight, but I agree with you. Like, I would lean Yuri. And especially with the better odds, I mean, Yuri's just a killer, and it's that or a better guy who is coming off not fighting in 700 days. So I endorse your guys' Yuri picks. I think maybe the under is the way to look, under 2.5, because I mean, I don't know, like if Rakic wins this fight, can he win it by decision? Like, can he survive 3 rounds against Yuri? I don't know. It's hard for me to see this one ending in decision. So, under might be my play ultimately, but I endorse your guys' Yuri picks. He's just a killer. Rakic hasn't fought in 700 days. This, to me, again, another tough matchup coming back. Like, you're getting thrown against a guy who he just got knocked out. He's going to be pissed off. Like, this is not the time I'd want to be fighting.
You already made him mad. Like, you already made him mad. You called him a fake samurai, which was just very poor decision. Alexander Rakic. That's like the low IQ moment of the week. Calling the guy that literally like beats himself with a whip, freaking locks himself in dark rooms, forges samurai swords, and like fights trees, not real samurai. That's just like that's.
Do you want to die?
That's like negative IQ, bro. Like you have receding IQ points at this point.
Okay, I'm betting on Yuri now. That convinced me. Fucking stupid. Don't poke the bear, man. Don't poke the fucking bear.
Every MMA.
All right, you know what? Let me get cute. First round knockout plus 380 for Yuri.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a first round KO. I think first round, and it's possible it goes to the second, but with Yuri, like the majority of his fights are first round finishes, and the only fight that wasn't a first round finish was the Glover Teixeira fight. Glover Teixeira is a dog. He should have won that fight if we're being completely honest. And then, I mean,
yeah, I remember. I lost money on that too because
I mean, look, Alex Pereira avenged the Yuri loss, so I'm just we don't know.
Yeah,
that's for tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely will have to get. We'll get into that tomorrow, 100% for sure. So that is all 8 prelim fights on the UFC 300 card. Let's roll it back one more time with our picks. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. But starting it off, we're all in unanimous decision. Davison Figueiredo. We're going to win. We're all on Jen Miller here. We're betting with our hearts, so please be aware. You guys are on Jessica Andrade. I'm with Marina Rodriguez. We're all on Jalen Turner, but Mansman might flick a chip on Moicano just to flick a chip. I'm on Sadiq Yusuf, and both of you. Sorry, me and Mansman are on Yusuf.
Yeah.
Sam is on Diego Lopez. Mm-hmm. Sam's on Holly Holm. I'm on Kayla Harrison. Mansman, you're on Kayla Harrison too, I believe.
I'm hoping for Holm. That's what I'll say.
There you go. We're all on Aljamain Sterling, and we are all on Yuri Prohaska.
Yep.
All right. Give us your best bets one more time, Money Mansman, and Sam, give us your top 3 plays once he's done.
Right. Yeah. So I think I had my Mansman special best Figueiredo by KO. Jessica Andrade, the early prelim best bet, and then Aljamain Sterling best bet for the entire prelim.
Sam, top 3 plays. What do you got?
All right, I got Prohaska by KO. I got Aljo by sub. And let me check my phone because I wrote them down in here. So let me just pull this up real quick. Hold on. And I got Holly Holm. I said Holly Holm by decision, but I think Holly Holm might put. Actually, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going with Jalen Turner by KO.
Jalen Turner KO.
Last minute audible.
That's okay.
Jalen Turner KO. Yeah.
All right. So for those of you at home who are wondering, because Sam loves the knockout plays, but what would happen if you parlayed his top 3? Aljo by sub, Yuri by knockout, Jalen Turner by knockout. All 3 pays out 25-1 plus 2,580.
If you win any money, anyone, you can thank me later. Boom.
Look at that. There we go. All right, so my top 3 plays. Give me Davison Figueiredo by finish, double chance. Give me...
Yeah, it's a good one.
Give me Sadiq Yusuf as my dog. And best bet, I'm also betting on Yuri Prohaska. I'll be safer and go money line here, but I do endorse the knockout play. Fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. We're DeGents. We'll do fuck it. We'll do the knockout.
We do what we want.
We'll do. You know what? Fuck it. Let's really do it. We'll fucking go first round knockouts. That was plus 380.
Bingo.
Yuri, first round knockout.
Ding dong.
Gotcha. Oh my lord. All right, Sam. Any final words before we end this episode?
I think this has been a great episode. I'm really looking forward to night 2 with you guys. This is turning out to be a really exciting card. It has a lot of potential. So this is honestly either going to make Uncle Dana a genius and set him up for a big show at the Sphere, or it's going to make him look like a complete fool. So this is like a all in, like, win or go home, win big or go home type of card. So I think he's staking a lot of his reputation on it. And knowing Uncle Dana, even though he's kind of a goofy, he has the penchant for pulling out the seemingly impossible. Like when he brought us what we now know and love as Fight Island. We all have a love-hate relationship with Dana White, but this card might end up being pretty magical. I think
say this. It kind of relates to the Fight Island. This UFC 300 card has to live up to the hype that I forget which number was the very first fighting card in the middle of the COVID pandemic that they did I think it was at the Apex.
The Apex, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got the
it has to live up to that. It has to live up to that.
It was Jacksonville. It was Florida. They did it in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it was Jacksonville. It has to live up to that. If it doesn't, then it's a failure.
Yeah.
Because Dana came in clutch there. He came in with Fight Island, and then it's just, let's be honest, it's been very hit and miss since. So it needs to live up to that sort of.
We've had 4 years of some cards are really good, other cards are not so good. It's hit or miss. It's been up and down, so we need some consistency here, and this is really a chance to show that the UFC, Dana White always talks about how the UFC is the leader in combat sports, the biggest fight promotion. Everyone loves the UFC, blah, blah. We've heard it all. Everyone that watches the fights, you've heard it all before, right? But now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. So if you want to live up to the hype of being the biggest, best, baddest promotion in the world, this is your hallmark event. It's UFC 300. It's a legacy event. We're not going to have another one for probably another 10 years or whatever, UFC 400, whatever that's going to be, or it'll be old, decrepit. We're going to be decrepit old men by the time that comes around. But, like, we're in our prime, 330. We're in our prime right now. So you gotta make it count, guys. We're not getting any younger. So we've been around as long as the UFC's been around. So yeah.
Let's show some growth. Monty Mansman, final remarks.
Well, wow, that's a depressing way to end it. I agree with Sam completely. I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel like this has the chance to be a really banging card. I just hope that the fighters come out because again, like you said, I remember that card after the pandemic, and yeah, part of it was it was the first sporting event in forever, but also too the fighters brought like an energy to it. There was an excitement to it. And I just feel like in a lot of these fight nights, they've just sort of like meandered along. I'm really hoping, and I think this prelim has a chance to be like one of the best sort of showcases of the year. Mm-hmm. And I actually think it's going to be better than the main card. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really amped. First fucking like UFC card after starting my new job. Like I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, by the way, talk about that. Congratulations officially from the podcast on your new job, by the way. Don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but just wanted to throw that out there for you.
I won't say too much about it because it's boring and nobody cares. I am a litigator again. I am back doing hearings, going to be in court. Like I am in the game now.
Money Man's been laying down the law.
Exactly. Yeah. Going to the office, real law. Like I'm back. We back.
Nice.
We fucking go. And we cannot wait to celebrate and get UFC 300 going. No final remarks from me. You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you guys for always joining. Thank you to our viewers that are watching as well. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at DeGents Podcast. Spaceman Sam, don't know if you have anything you need to plug, but yeah, otherwise, guys, tune in tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We come in with part 2 for the main card. We will go a lot more in depth in those fights. There's only 5 of them. But with that said, I'm Steve Big Bucks Beta. Sam, thank you for always joining.
Yo, anytime.
Money Management signing off. And as always,
go win that motherfucking money.